where he's been every time. We both started FCS. He was at, Jackson State. I was at Carter Word. And that's where really we met for the first time with our quarterback coach when we first got to college. And then he's always been, just a great person to be around. A lot of stuff out there on him ain't really, the truth. Just because they spin it different ways, like they spin stuff about me different ways. But I mean, I've always thought he was a productive quarterback. I mean, a lot of people may have their own opinion. I have mine as well. But I mean, when he gets his chance, to become a starter, I know he's gonna make the most of it. And I'm ready to get back to work with him. After the season, talk some more stuff to him. Say some crazy stuff. I feel a special relationship with him, especially me first getting to know him about 5 years ago when I started working with them without the UIW. But it didn't surprise me because he's a good quarterback. He doesn't get a lot of credit that he deserves, especially the plays that he made in Colorado. A lot of quarterbacks in the country are making those plays. So when he gets his opportunity, I'm pretty sure having soon today, he'll make sure he'll make plays on the field.
Having him run that 2-minute drill is a strange decision. Do I believe that Sanders is being sabotaged? No, I think that is excessive. Do I think that he is being put in the best positions to be successful? No. But you know why I say that? Because he plays for the Browns. Nobody in that motherfucker is in a position to be successful. What the fuck are you talking about? They're going to start Joe Flacco. I know I've cussed a lot more in this show than I typically would prefer. They're going to start Joe Flacco. Nobody's in a position to be successful.
Their hazing rituals or their outdated definition.
Picture this. Cam Ward just flipped the switch and went full tell-all mode, and he didn't hold a single thing back. Forget quiet locker room whispers. He cracked open the NFL's group chat like a safe and showed how players really see Shedeur Sanders. And trust me, it's not all handshakes and high fives. Some of these guys act like Shedeur walked into their family Thanksgiving and grabbed the last slice of pie. So what's really behind the shade? Why is everyone giving him the side eye? This is messier than halftime gossip and way louder. Because let's be real, the NFL's real favorite game
is to show that everything is okay here and still project that confidence.
His father is everyone else wrong because he doesn't play? If Flacco's getting the reps or if Dylan Gabriel beats him out, it could happen. They drafted Dylan. Is everyone else just an idiot because that happened?
Yes. And you don't believe that.
But, guys, here's the facts. All of us in the media who watched the film had him somewhere between the first, maybe the third. There was some disconnect in the pre-draft process.
Right.
I think Peter's making an interesting nuanced point. When you have an agent, you're getting active feedback that you could react to. Maybe you go back in for another visit. There was some disconnect in the pre-draft process.
Isn't football. It's straight up pettiness. Imagine millionaires with diamond chains, Lambos, and private chefs still finding the time to roll their eyes at a college quarterback. That's the level we're at right now with Shedeur Sanders. And just when folks thought the noise was finally cooling off, Cam Ward marched right back in, pulled the fire alarm, and aired out the real reason behind the tension. Spoiler, it's got nothing to do with touchdowns or interceptions. It's not about touchdowns, it's about egos, insecurities, and the fact that Shedeur dares to shine without asking anyone's permission. But let's rewind, because this isn't just a story about one quarterback. This is what happens when legacy, hype, and real talent crash headfirst into NFL vets who swear they're the gatekeepers to the promised land. See, Shedeur didn't just appear out of thin air. He's been grinding his way up for years. First at Jackson State, where his dad coached him like he was carving out a diamond under pressure. Then he took that momentum to Colorado, instantly becoming the face of college football, whether people were ready for it or not. And trust me, a lot of folks weren't ready. In the NFL's unspoken rulebook, there's this invisible clause that basically says you can't be too confident until the veterans allow you to sit at the cool kids table. But here's the twist. Shedeur didn't wait for an invite. He skipped the line.
We got to talk about Cleveland Browns owner Jimmy Haslam, because he reportedly is upset that fans aren't 100% locked in on this team right now. And let's be real, a big part of that is because of Shedeur Sanders. He isn't playing. Now, local journalists are even out here claiming that Ticket sales are down, that seats are looking empty right now. I don't know if that's 100% true, because I'm gonna be fair to you guys. The Cleveland Browns, that is, loyal and local supporters have been supporting. And I'm gonna get back to talking about the Cleveland Browns supporters.
Pulled up a chair and sat himself down like he belonged from day one. And the crazy part, he actually backs it up. Shedeur's got the numbers, the accuracy, and the ice-cold composure under pressure that would make even veteran quarterbacks sweat bullets. But here's the kicker. Some NFL circles don't see any of that. To them, he's just Dayon's son. The kid with the flashy watch collection and more NIL money than some practice squads combined. They've already slapped labels on him, calling him a clout chaser, a brand ambassador who hasn't even played a single NFL snap yet. In their eyes, all the attention isn't real. It's staged, hyped up, and over-manufactured. And worse, they hate that he's not playing the rookie role the way tradition demands. Quiet, humble, invisible, until the vets give the green light. Picture this. You get hired at a new job and your boss tells you, "Welcome aboard, but don't talk, don't laugh, don't celebrate, and definitely don't make any noise until we say so." That's the unspoken.
Out of absurd opinions that are out there on Shedeur Sanders, why he hasn't played great in the preseason, why he's not being the starter for the Cleveland Browns. It is absolutely off the charts. People have lost their minds when they're discussing Shedeur Sanders. I think it's because people are still bitter that they were wrong about him being a first-round pick. The NFL is always a meritocracy. It's what are you capable of actually accomplishing on the field?
NFL veteran code. And Shedeur, he broke it on day one. Rolling in with designer shades, flexing highlight reels like they were TikTok thirst traps, he made it clear he wasn't here to shrink into the background. But here's the wild part. If Shedeur didn't actually have the game to match the swagger, this would have been over already. He'd just be another college star fading into trivia night questions. The real problem, the reason vets keep grumbling, is because deep down, they know Shedeur might actually live up to every ounce of that hype. Veteran players.
Ward is one of the most interesting NFL prospects that I have seen in quite some time. And a lot of it has nothing to do with his stats. Obviously, we know by now he's played at 3 different schools. FCS Incarnate Word coming out of high school, Washington State, and then Miami, where he was the best quarterback in the nation. But throw stats, throw film, throw all of that out of the window. This man has played for 3 different programs, meaning that he's had 3 different offensive coordinators, 3 different O-line units, and 3 different receiver corps, and dominated at every single school. And with a lot of quarterback prospects coming into the draft, they were paired up with first-round receivers.
Don't just see Shedeur, they see primetime shadow stretched across the whole league. They see a kid who's had cameras in his face since day one, never forced to grind in the dark the way they did. And let's keep it real, some of that envy has roots. Most NFL guys didn't grow up stepping off private jets or signing brand deals before they even hit their teenage years. And then there's the era we're in now, social media. Shedeur doesn't just throw passes, he curates a whole lifestyle. Every Instagram drop looks like it belongs on the cover of GQ. He's promoting his image just as much as his game. And in today's sports world, that's not just acceptable, it's survival. But try explaining that to the old school vets who still act like self-promotion is some kind of sin. They see Shedeur flexing NIL checks, flashing his watch collection, and instantly write him off as a clout hunter who cares more about the shine than the sport. The double standards are wild. The hypocrisy could make a politician turn red. And when you mix that with locker room politics, the drama gets even messier.
To be the security blanket, which is what you brought him there for to begin with. You didn't bring him there to lead the Browns. You brought him to be a security blanket in the event that you couldn't find somebody else who could do it. That's why people in Cleveland were looking at it last year. Why the hell isn't he here last year? What the hell you let him get out the door for before you ultimately brought him back after the season he had a couple of years ago? But I do think it's important to bring this one nugget up. I'm looking at the average time to throw for a quarterback last year in the National Football League. Dan, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it was like at 2.42 to 3.14 seconds, if I remember correctly, based on what I read.
Veterans treat the locker room like it's a medieval kingdom, with rookies stuck playing peasants while vets parade as knights guarding the throne. On the field, Shedeur is moving like royalty, head high, crown on, and zero interest in bowing to the system. And that attitude, it drives certain people crazy. That's why Cam Ward being the one to speak on it hits so hard. Cam knows the grind. He didn't grow up with a silver spoon. He had to claw for every ounce of respect he's got. So when Cam says NFL vets are salty about Shedeur, it's not just noise. It's a spotlight on jealousy, ego, and fear of change. Because here's the double standard. When vets show confidence, they're called leaders. But when Shedeur does it, suddenly he's cocky, arrogant, and only in the game because of his dad.
What is it like for you to have like this rivalry with Shedeur and have it play out the way it has?
I don't have a rivalry with him. That's my boy. So, at the end of the day, this whole process, we thought me and him were going to be 1 and 2 the whole time. Whether he's 1, I'm 2. Whether I'm 1, he's 2. And so that's just always been, our mindset. It didn't go that way. But I mean, just coming out of college, even to the draft, I thought he was one of the better quarterbacks in the draft as well.
Funny how that works. The truth, Shedeur is shaking up the system. He's forcing the NFL to face a new type of athlete, one who's both a baller and a brand, one who blends the game with the image and makes no apologies for it. And if the league had any sense, they'd lean into it instead of fighting it. Because whether you love him or hate him, Shedeur Sanders puts fans in seats, sells merch, and keeps the headlines buzzing. And in the NFL, isn't that the real goal? That's why Cam Ward's honesty cuts deep. It tears the mask right off the whole situation. This proves the pushback against Shedeur isn't just bitter fans, it's players too. And not because he can't ball, but because he's bold enough to play by his own rules. And maybe, just maybe, Cam Ward's blunt honesty sparks a bigger conversation. Maybe it forces players to look in the mirror and ask themselves why a young quarterback's confidence rattles them so much. Maybe it even makes the league rethink how rookies with swagger get treated. Or maybe nothing changes at all. Maybe we'll keep watching veterans throwing side eyes at Shedeur in public while secretly replaying his highlight reels on their phones. Either way, the Shedeur Sanders story isn't slowing down.
I think the end of the year we played team ball, really majority all the time. Like I can say, the Virginia Tech game, I had 2 books, and the defense, they kept us in the game. The Georgia Tech game, we didn't have our best game offensively, and the defense did enough to keep us in the game, getting every 2-minute drive, and we didn't come through. In the Syracuse game, we didn't lift up the defense enough to be able to win that game and finish it out. So I just think at key times, we didn't lock in, and that ended up resulting us not making the playoffs.
If anything, it's just heating up, because whether the NFL embraces it or not, he's not just in the game, he's reshaping it. And if Cam Ward had the guts to put it out there for everyone to hear, then maybe it's time others stop pretending and admit the truth too. The league only has 2 options now: adjust to Shedeur Sanders or get left choking on the dust he leaves behind. And here's the real kicker. This isn't just Shedeur versus a few salty veterans. This isn't just beef. It's the collision of 2 totally different eras of football. Here's the raw truth. The NFL stopped being just about the sport a long time ago. It's entertainment now. Players aren't just athletes, they're living, breathing marketing machines. Jersey sales, viral highlights, sponsorships, social media clicks. It all counts as much as touchdowns. If the league really cared about staying humble, they wouldn't be shoving rookie quarterbacks into primetime TV slots with cameras trailing them like reality stars. They wouldn't be running commercials with rookies hawking cars, chips, and energy drinks before they've even thrown a single touchdown. The system loves clout as long as it controls it. But Shedeur, he flips the script. He doesn't wait for the NFL to hand him a microphone. He already built his own platform, his own audience, his own brand. And that's exactly what scares people the most. They can't box him in. They can't control his story. He's not just a quarterback. He's already moving like a CEO running a whole business empire before stepping on an NFL field. And trust.
Cam Ward, the #1 draft pick of this past NFL draft quarterback, was selected by the Tennessee Titans, setting the record straight about Shedeur Sanders as a quarterback. Cam Ward was saying that he thought during this whole process that Shedeur was one of the best quarterbacks in this draft. One, if not two. He was talking about him and Shedeur, two best quarterbacks that everybody was talking about before the draft. And he was on this podcast letting them know where he stands with Shedeur Sanders.
NFL veterans notice every bit of it. To them, it feels like cheating. They're thinking, I was eating ramen in a cramped apartment, waiting for my first contract. And this kid's pulling up to practice in a watch worth more than my rookie signing bonus. That's the sting. Fast forward 10 years. Shedeur won't be the outlier. He'll be the blueprint. That's why Cam Ward's honesty hit different. It cut straight through the noise and put the truth on the table. He said what everybody else was too scared to say out loud. NFL players aren't just critiquing Shedeur's game, they're critiquing what he represents. A whole new wave of athletes who don't care about outdated traditions, corny hazing rituals, or some old school definition of respect. Shedeur is rewriting the rules, and that's what has them pressed. So yeah, vets might keep side-eyeing him for now. They'll keep calling him a clout chaser, a spoiled kid, whatever label makes them feel better.
Can't get to the Luke Show podcast fast enough. This what's going on in Cleveland? God. Kevin, you think we all are stupid? You don't think we know football? If you're a football fan, we clearly know what you did. We clearly know that the plays that you gave for Dylan Gabriel, throwing the check down underneath.
But deep down, they know the same thing. Eventually, they'll be pretending they always believed in him. Maybe even sliding into his DMs for tips on how to build their own brands. Because here's the bottom line, the future doesn't wait for permission. It kicks down the door, grabs the spotlight, and leaves everyone else scrambling to keep up. And Shedeur Sanders, he's already 10 steps ahead. Like, comment, share, and don't forget to subscribe. This story is just getting started.